Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's Pepman's Best to Last. This will be for finishing week 4, going into week 5. I'm Dale Ross.
Now I'm the Pet Man, Matt Morrow, and once again, as always, this is a challenge. And before I get started, let me say West Charlotte is still playing South Point, so
Right.
disclaimer there.
But I believe West Charlotte's going to lose that ball game. So
All right, so let's get
we'll
going
see.
here. Number 22, Gander. We know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. Number 21, Porter Ridge. Close loss to Sun Valley, 28-25. They're getting better.
Right.
They're getting better. Sun Valley's no pushover. Number 20, Harding, same thing. Close loss to East Meck. Obviously, there's some progress there from their loss to West Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
so there's no change there. Hopewell drops 2 spots after losing to Olympic.
Mm-hmm.
Had some trouble finishing in that game. Got down the red zone, couldn't
Right.
punch it in a couple times. East Meck's close one over Harding, kept them in the same spot, number 18.
Mm-hmm.
And Olympic moves up 2 spots, number 17, with their 21-6 win over Hopewell. So their defense is playing well. So they're starting to, get things going a little bit,
Sure.
which is good.
I think that tier looks good. Yeah.
So what we've done this week, we got 4 tiers here. That was the first tier. Really starting to see where teams fall in here. So in that last tier right there, those are teams that have kind of struggled a little bit. They still have a chance to move up and get things
Sure.
going. Number 16, West Meck, dropping 1 spot. They're losing to Independence. They played, pretty well
Right.
for most of that game. They just couldn't finish it in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I got West Charlotte at number 15. They move up a spot, but right now their game's being played as we film this.
Right.
So we'll see where they shake out later on. Rocky River drops a spot, losing to Catholic. No real shame in losing to Catholic. They're obviously a top team in the city. Providence moves up a spot, even though they didn't play. That happens. Number 12, Berry. I dropped them 1 spot and then losing to Cuthbertson, but I really think they're them and the number 11 team, Independence, which I moved up a spot over West Meck. They're real close. I could almost put them at the top, but I don't like doing ties on this.
I might the only thing there is I might would put Barry over Independence, but I think it's
I can
it's
see
real
that.
close. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you say, they could almost be a tie.
So here we go, top 10.
Yep.
Number 10, Myers Park. I'm dropping 1 spot after losing to South Meck, but that was a heck of an overtime game.
Right.
Don't really fault them too much for that. North Meck moves up a spot after their win over Community School of Davidson. They're at number 9.
Mm-hmm.
RGK drops 3 spots. Now, it sounds harsh, but like I always say, this group right here, I think is the most tight-knit group overall in the tiers that we do here. RGK number 8 after losing to Huff.
Yep.
South Meck moves up a spot, number 7. Their win over Myers Park.
Mm-hmm.
No change with A.O. Brown. They won over Mooresville. Wasn't a real convincing, kind of win, but they got it done.
Right.
I moved Huff up 2 spots. I think their win over RGK was pretty impressive.
Sure.
They showed some offense, which they hadn't showed. They had guys out on defense, and they were able to step up and make that big play at the end of the game. We all know RGK is a good offensive team,
Right.
and for them to overcome those things and still win was very impressive to me.
Sure. Pretty. I think I agree with everything there. Maybe I might again flip the top of your tier, and I might put A.L. Brown above, and probably do. But again, I think they're really close there.
Yeah, that whole group right there. I tell you,
sure,
those are heck of a games.
Huff to Myers Park. That's a tough group there, and you know what? They all showed that in their games that they played against each other.
Mm-hmm.
We had 4 games. We had 4 teams playing out of that group each other, 2 games, and both games were tight ball games. So,
Yeah. All right, top tier, no changes. Number 4, Catholic, won over Rocky River. Number 3, Butler. I think it's a big win over Richmond. Richmond, even though they're kind of down a little bit, that's still impressive to go on the road and win down there
I agree.
in Richmond County. Vance, even though they lost to South Point's the number 1 3A team in South Carolina. Definitely not a slouch. There's no shame in losing to them.
Right.
I gave a brief thought of moving Butler above, but I don't think, Vance deserves that after losing to South Point. Number 1, Mallard Creek, went over Garinger. you know,
Sure.
that's it is what it is.
I think, I think I still believe those top three, especially, and maybe even four, are very, very close to each other.
hmm
I believe that's probably the closest top tier we've had in
I
Charlotte
agree.
in a while.
I agree. And it's good to see.
Yeah,
It really is good to see. Usually you have, a couple clear cut teams in this
exactly.
area, but this year I think we're going to see some real good games down the line, and there's parity here, and it's going to be real interesting.
Exactly. Out of that tier, of course, Mallard Creek and Vance have to play each other.
hmm
Butler and Catholic do not, and once Butler gets past Huff, it may be clear sailing for them through the playoffs. I was just thinking about that.
We got to see who's going to improve in that Southwest Conference.
Yeah,
Because someone's got to step up and challenge them. Will it be Myers Park?
right,
Maybe Independence is going to come and really get it going.
right.
Rocky River, we know, has been kind of a surprise in
Yeah.
terms of what's going on there. So it's wide open behind Butler in the Southwest to me.
Exactly.
And the other two conferences, we already talked about the MEC with Mallard Creek and Vance. So I think that's the strongest conference, top to bottom.
Mecca is
Overall.
yes, no question.
There's no days off in that week in that conference. And the South MEC 8, Catholic's on top right now, but you got teams in Ardrey and South MEC that have the skill people that could give Catholic problems.
Right.
I think Catholic's front seven is great. I don't think they faced anyone that can really test their secondary quite yet, but they'll see that in conference.
Sure. And last year, that was those were tough ball games for Catholic last year, and both were ball games that teams can come out of that and say, there was just a small if this had happened, South would have won. South had that game won late. I think until the final minute, and Audrey Kell was almost in the same situation. Of course, you got to finish, but it was very tight last year, and it looks like that conference is going to be very tight as well. And I think the top half of that conference is very, very competitive.
Will be very interesting to see.
Because Philippa Berry is, they're making the noise.
They're a wild card. I'm telling you, they're a wild card.
It looks like Philippa Berry's kind of rising, and Providence is kind of, going the other direction.
Yep. So that's the best of last for this week. Let us know, or let me know, where I messed up, where I'm wrong, where you think your team should be. And we'll see next week going into conference play. We'll have a nice preview of the conference play coming up next week. So most of you guys are on buys this week. Study up, get ready. Now the real season's starting up.
Exactly. Post yours down below. Thank you.